What's happening? Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me. Welcome to another edition of the Monday Morning Get Up, the show where we give you a little bit of elevation, motivation, and inspiration to start you off and rocking and rolling and moving through your week. How are you today? Well, listen, I'm going to start out with this question. How many times have you felt overlooked? Or maybe how many times have you overlooked or taken something for granted, only to realize how dangerous or powerful it is? Let's talk about that this morning on The Get Up. I'm so glad that you're here with me this morning. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's in the space today. So, Doris, Jay, what's happening? Mark, C, how you doing? Eleanor, my goodness, how you doing? Frank, how you doing? Trevor, how you doing? I can't even see what that is. It's my something. Yeah, I need to put glasses on. All right. Frank, welcome to the show this morning. Welcome, Jeremy. Welcome to the show this morning. Francine, welcome. So glad that you're here this morning. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Jimmy, thank you so much for being here this morning. Chip, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Rebecca, yeah, good to see you this morning. Grace K, how you doing this morning? Good to see you on the show this morning. Johnny B. Okay, Johnny B. Good. Hi, so glad that you're here this morning. All right. Well, listen, I want to jump in, but before I do that, I want to remind you to sign up for any text by going to 410-936-4049. Know when I'm going live. Also, you can go to rk3thats.me to grab any resources to get connected with me there and learn about what's happening next. As a matter of fact, one of the main things that I do is I work with real estate agents, real estate associations, real estate brokers, helping them to figure out how to create messages that move people to action. And I'll be speaking in the next few weeks at the NAR, National Association of Realtors, next convention. So if you are in the real estate industry and you want to be at that event, go to narnxt.realtor, narnxt.realtor. Boom. So let's get started with our stuff today. What are we talking about? What are we talking about today? Today, we're talking about realizing how powerful or maybe even dangerous some things are. So when I was a kid, I used to play baseball in the Bronx with my friends, with my buddies on the block. And we played either in the street, but the street wasn't always too safe. So a lot of times we played on the sidewalk. And there were, we had these little bases that we made from cracks in the sidewalk or a tree or something that was memorable for us. But there were times that we noticed, I remember specifically a time that I noticed a small plant coming up through a crack in the sidewalk. And as a kid, you notice certain things and you go over to them and you wonder why they are the way they are, or why do they exist that way? Because a plant in the middle of a sidewalk, a concrete sidewalk, kind of seems out of place, right? Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen this? As a matter of fact, I think I have a picture of something like this, right? You've got the asphalt, you've got the concrete, which is pretty heavy stuff, and you see this plant coming up in that space, and it looks a little bit out of place. Now, over time, I noticed that this plant grew. And the more that this plant grew, the bigger that it became, I noticed that the crack that it was coming up through became wider or bigger as well. And as that crack became wider, more cracks began to develop in the sidewalk. Now, you might not be blown away by this story because you've seen this already. But if you think about it, a sidewalk or a rock is concrete, and it's fairly heavy, and it's pretty solid, and a plant is soft. If you were to take the leaf of a plant and put it between your two fingers, you could probably rip it apart fairly easily. If you took the stem from a plant or a branch from a small plant and you put it between your fingers, you could probably snap it and break it pretty easily. So what business does a plant, which you can rip apart between your fingers, have with pushing apart or breaking or creating cracks in a rock? or concrete? Well, listen, let me share today's quote with you by Carl Sandburg. It says, "Let the gentle bush dig its root deep and spread upward to split the boulder." Let the gentle bush dig its root deep and spread upward to split the boulder. Here's what happens. There's a lot of times where we see people and we may dismiss them. We see ideas and we may dismiss them because we overlook things that seem impossible. Right? That plant coming up through the sidewalk or through a boulder is not a big deal. And if we think about it, it seems impossible. But I want to make a comparison here. So if we look at a rock, a solid rock, a plant is not going to walk up to a rock and punch it in its side and make and grow through it. What happens is that weathering may take place, and because of weathering, because of erosions, there may be some small, insignificant seeming cracks that develop in a rock or in the sidewalk. And here's what happens. Once that crack develops, the plant comes inside of it, or the seed is placed inside of it, and as that plant or that seed is watered, that plant or that seed begins to grow and expand and exert pressure on the crack in the rock or in the sidewalk. So here's the thing, that crack is an opportunity. That small space is just enough for that seed, for that plant to get in there and begin doing its thing. And a lot of us, we see opportunities in our lives, right? We have opportunities that come through our space, but because we don't see the full plant or we don't see the full growth immediately, we walk by the opportunity. We walk by the crack because it doesn't seem like it's big enough, or it doesn't seem significant enough. But just because the opportunity is available doesn't mean the win is immediate. I shouldn't say but. And just because an opportunity is available doesn't mean the win is immediate. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. They're looking for the immediate wins. If you look on the internet, if you look on social media right now, a lot of the ads that you see are crafted to help you think, or to promote to people that immediate wins are coming up. Right. And those are the things that people, because of desperation, we look to take advantage of those wins because we're looking for immediate wins. But there are many opportunities that are available. If we're looking around us, if we're looking at our lives, there are many opportunities that are available. And just because the opportunity is available doesn't mean the win is immediate. It's still going to take you time, effort, and pressure. Thomas Edison had this great quote as well. He said, "Opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work." Right? A lot of people miss opportunities because it looks like work. Or I can say it another way. A lot of people miss opportunities because it looks to them like it won't work. How many times have you heard that something won't work? How many times have you heard that something won't work? I think technology is a great example. It's always an example of people and things that we're told wouldn't work, right? If you think back to the plane, the Wright brothers were told that their plane idea wouldn't work. Henry Ford presented his idea of a motor to a group of industrialists, and he was told that it wouldn't work. Shonda Rhimes was pitching Grey's Anatomy to some executives, and she was told that nobody would want to watch that show. The premise was bad and it was boring. Walt Disney was told that a giant mouse on screen would frighten women. Sheryl Sandberg was literally told by a technology executive. I would never hire someone like you. Sheryl Sandberg, CEO of Facebook and Yahoo and many, a lot of the tech companies that you know, right? Elvis Presley was told after a performance in Nashville that he should go back to Memphis and keep driving trucks. James Dyson of Dyson vacuum fame was told that his vacuums without bags and filters wouldn't work and they would never catch on. How often have you been told, or have you been around in a space where somebody's presented an idea and they're told that it won't work? And because a lot of people are told that their ideas don't work, a lot of people shrink away. Are you shrinking because you're told that your idea won't work, or because you're not taking advantage of or recognizing opportunities? A lot of people, it seems like there are a lot of people that are built to downplay ideas. There's some people that the first words that come out of their mouth are, "It won't work. We tried that already. It didn't work. We did it 10 years ago and it didn't work." Here's the thing. Most people will attempt to sabotage your brilliance because it reminds them of their own fear or their own failure to act. If we think about the plants, if we go back to the plants, when there's a rock, when there's a sidewalk, when there's something that's heavy, when there's a big obstacle, all the plants need is an opportunity. These plants, which seem soft and feeble, seize upon an opportunity which over time allows them to push apart structures and obstacles, which on the surface seem superior and stronger. So what about you? What are you doing with your opportunities? What are you doing with your opportunities? Are you taking advantage of them and applying pressure to the stuffy, stuck, uninspired rocks around you? All you need is a crack. All you need is an opportunity, and it may not grow and it may not develop into the big success immediately, but over time, if you keep growing, if you keep seeking growth, if you keep watering that idea, it begins to apply pressure to the obstacles that are around it. So that's what we've got today. Listen, I want you to do me a favor. There's a book that I want you to check out, and that book is The Art of Persistence by Michal Stawicki. And if you are watching this on YouTube or on Facebook or on LinkedIn, you should see a link in the caption above. And I want you to go check that out. And the next thing that I want you to do is come hang out with me next week. Next week, Monday, we're about to do this Monday morning get up like we do every week at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time, whatever time it is on the East Coast of the United States. Listen, recognize your opportunities, grow, apply pressure, be amazing. I'll see you next week. Peace.